Hey guys, Coach Meg here. I'm going to take you through some of my deeper stretches. So I don't recommend doing these when you're cold. You should already be kind of warmed up. After you've worked out, you've moved around a little bit, so you don't want to rip anything. So all I'm going to do, I'm going to start off actually kind of light. I'm going to have my feet part probably about double your shoulder width. All you're going to do, go straight down. I usually like to try to start in the middle a little bit with both hands, and then go to one side. Try to grab the ankle with both hands, and then try to reach down, just a gentle pull. Usually hold that for about 10 seconds, and then go to the other side. And then I go back. To deepen the stretch, you actually kind of want to add a little twist. So if we're on the right side here, you grab with your left hand, put the opposite hand straight up in the air, just deepening the stretch. Again, only holding for about 10 seconds. And same thing on the other side. And then lastly, I go back to the middle. You can either cross your arms or you can grab your ankles and just pull straight down. Trying to either get the elbows to touch the floors, or you can just grab your inside your ankles and pull. Next, I like to go down for a side stretch. I always start with my heel actually up and my toes up on my farther foot, and just kind of reach forward. Try to get your nose to kind of try to touch your toes, but you want to make sure you don't bend your back. It's going to hurt your back. Reach forward. You feel a little bit more in the calf doing this way. And same thing on the other side. Remember, this time our heels are up, toes are pointed towards the ceiling on the other foot. Just reach forward. Getting a good calf stretch. Then I go through again, same thing, side stretch, but this time we're going to put our heel flat. On this, you want to make sure that you don't have your knee too far out. That's actually going to put a lot of pressure on your knee. Try to get your knee right over your foot, and try to get both heels flat. And then again, you want to try to reach towards that farthest foot. And then switch it to the other side. Again, keeping both heels flat. Just reach towards the farthest foot. And then again, we're going to come straight back up and then just slowly slide out. You want to take it nice and slow. You don't want to rip anything. And go as far as you can. I usually like to try to hold my splits for about 2 minutes at a time. But you want to start with where you can. Just go as far as you can. Usually after about a minute, I'll start kind of leaning forward a little bit. I usually do about 10 seconds each side. So I'll go down the middle, go towards the right foot, and then towards the left foot. And then if I'm going for a real deep stretch, I'll even come all the way up as far as I can. Try to find a straight line like this yellow line here. Just try to stay nice and straight and just go down as far as you can and then come back up. Not holding it for too long. And then coming back to the middle. And then we'll go through a butterfly stretch. Just bring your feet in and kind of shake out the hips a little bit. From here, you want to make sure that you grab your ankles and put pressure with your elbows on your knees, just on the inside of the knees. And try to hinge forward. Try not to arch your back. A lot of times we'll tell the kids nose to toes. You actually want to bring it more like chest to toes and try to get your nose closer towards the mats, the floor in front of you. Usually hold that for a few seconds. I'll come back up, shake it off a little bit. Each time I go down, I like to slide my feet forward just a little bit, stretches a different part of the hip. Then I go back forward. Again, trying to keep the back straight. Come back up, shake it off. And then reach forward just a little bit further. Going back down the middle. back up. One more time, we can go a little bit further. Just go as far as you can. This gives a good stretch to all the different spots of the hip. And then coming back up, getting your feet straight. Try to get your toes pulled back towards you and reach as far as you can towards your toes. Again, always try to keep that back straight and just reaching forward. Focus on getting the stretch in the legs. On this one, I like to kind of bounce a little bit as opposed to just holding. If you want a really deep static stretch, you can pull and hold. I prefer a bounce. And then I like to come up just to give my legs a break. I'll kind of twist to each side, give my back a nice pop. And I'll do it one more time. I'll go back and reach towards the toes. If you're really flexible, you can also try to pull your heels up off the floor. That gives a pretty intense calf stretch. And then from here, bring one foot in, go 90 degrees, and then pull forward. On here, I like to give my toes a stretch, actually pop my toes. And then again, try to pull back, just giving the calf a nice deep stretch. In the same position, you can go towards the side, go towards the other hip. This will actually give your hamstrings a good stretch as well. And then same thing on the other side. Going straight out. Reach forward, kind of stretch out your toes. And then pull back, stretching out the calf again. And then leaning forward over towards the opposite knee. You want to try to keep both hips on the floor. You don't want to just lean forward. It's not going to do anything. Try to keep all your butt all the way on the ground. Just reach forward. And then coming back up, you can take this foot, you can put it behind you, and then lean back as far as you can. Now, if you're like me and you have bad knees, going all the way down might not be good for you. Just go until you can feel the stretch on your quads. Again, I have bad knees, so I don't hold this one for too long. And then we'll switch to the other side. Just leaning back as far as you can. For those of you that need to deepen the stretch, you can take the other foot and just give a gentle push down. Good. And from here, I like to go to the side stretch. So we'll start with the runner's lunge. All you want to do is you want to make sure that this knee doesn't go too far in front of this foot. That's not going to give you a good stretch. You want to make sure that you have just enough space that you can try to get the back leg as straight as you can with your toes all the way on the ground, and then just kind of lean forward. You want to make sure that your knee is above the foot. If it's back here, you're not getting a good stretch. If it's too far in front, you're not getting a good stretch. Make sure it's right under the knee. And make sure, don't lean forward. Make sure one hand is on each side of the foot, so you're getting it right in the middle. And then kind of pull it back so you're sitting all the way on the back foot, and then reach forward, still keeping one hand on each side of that front foot. And then sliding it as far out as you can. Again, making sure that you have one hand on each side of the foot, and making sure that that back foot is pointed down. Don't try to turn it out. Doing this will actually kind of put strain on your hip. Just try to get it nice and straight. Sometimes I like to deepen the stretch and just kind of lean forward a little bit. For those that need a real challenge, you can take the left hand, bring it to the inside, and then lift up that back knee. You have to be careful with this one. If you don't have the full splits, this can hurt your hips. So make sure you have the full splits before you try that. And we'll do the same thing on the other side. So we'll do a quick runner's lunge. pulling it back and stretching forward. And then sliding it out. And again, if you need it even deeper, take the opposite hand, put it on the inside, bend the back knee, try to get straight up. Good. Then as a last stretch, what I like to do is to stretch the back of the hips. All you want to do is bring your feet to as close to your booty as you can, and then take one foot and put it on top of your knee and just slowly sit. This will stretch right in the back towards the glutes. Just lean forward as close as you can to your knee. Try not to bend your back. Just try to hinge forward. Use your hands to walk in if you need a little extra pressure. And then switching it to the other side. Okay, and that's all the stretches I have for you. Usually that takes me about 30 minutes. You want to make sure to still kind of shake out your legs afterwards because that was a really deep stretch. Good job, guys.